Archangel Michael says, "The skies have shifted today with a message that must not be delayed." Something is trembling in the heart of the one who once held your hand. A quiet storm is consuming them from within, and heaven is urging you to listen now. They are walking with a heavy burden cloaked in a smile. You may not see it, but their soul is exhausted from pretending everything is fine. The truth is, they are struggling deeply, and your name still lives in their breath. They try to sleep but keep waking up with tears. They want to call, but their pride has become their prison. The pain is too much, and they think no one would understand, especially not you. Archangel Michael says, your person is battling guilt, shame, and silent memories that replay like echoes inside a dark room, and in that room, the only light they crave is your voice. But they believe too much damage has been done. Type Amen to get blessing 333. They have prayed in secret for a sign, something to say that the door isn't locked forever. Every time they see someone that looks like you, their heart pauses and screams within, but on the outside, they laugh and go about their day as if nothing ever happened. Heaven sees it. God has seen them walk past your house just to feel close again. They deleted your number and still memorized it, thinking if you ever text again, it must be a miracle. They are spiraling silently, and the world around them is unaware, but God is not unaware. God chose this message to reach you, to pull you into the spiritual reality of someone you once loved and maybe still do. Type Amen to get blessing 424. They had everything planned for a future with you but failed to confess their true feelings before it was too late. Now, each morning is a battle to not send that one long message they keep rewriting, but fear holds their hands and won't let them press send. There are moments they sit in the dark just listening to a song that reminds them of you. The silence afterward becomes their punishment. They believe they lost the only person who could understand the real them. Archangel Michael says, this is not just coincidence, you were chosen to hear this for a reason. Their pain has reached the heavens and God is intervening through this message. They saw a sign with your birth date recently and it broke them. They broke down in public, excused themselves, and cried in silence behind a restroom door. Their spirit is not handling the distance the way their lips pretend to. Type Amen to get blessing 578. They still remember your scent. It haunts them like a ghost they can't escape. And even if they are around someone else now, their soul never disconnected from yours. They feel like a shadow of who they were when you were with them. Your love gave them color, purpose, and warmth. Now, their days feel like cold mornings with no sun, no coffee, and no direction. They watched a video that reminded them of a moment you both shared, and it shattered them. They sat on the floor, gripping their chest because the ache was real and cruel. They want to call you, but something stronger than fear keeps stopping them. Heaven is not letting this go unnoticed anymore. The divine has issued a spiritual message because your person's healing is tied to your awareness. You may not be together now, but your souls are still intertwined. Type Amen to get blessing 696. They are suffering from anxiety, from guilt, from the silent torment of losing you by their own hands. They pretend it was mutual, but deep down they know it was their fault. And that truth has become too loud to ignore. They walk around avoiding every place that reminds them of you, but it's impossible. Everything reminds them of you, the way you laughed, the way you looked at them, even the way you said goodbye. That last look still wakes them at 3 a.m., they still keep something that belongs to you. A note, a piece of clothing, or something you once gifted. It's hidden in their drawer, but every now and then they hold it and cry like they lost a part of their soul. Archangel Michael says, you are being called into compassion. This isn't about going back, it's about recognizing their silent suffering. Your spiritual presence is the light they secretly pray for every night. Type Amen to get blessing 888. They tell their friends they've moved on, but they still talk about you like you're the best thing that ever happened to them. They keep their pain locked behind laughter and jokes. But behind closed doors, they are losing hope, they are afraid you'll never forgive them. They are terrified that if they reach out, you'll reject them with the same silence they once gave you. They live with that fear like it's part of their skin now. God is exposing this because time is not guaranteed. Your person needs divine intervention, and that intervention begins with you receiving this truth. Heaven can heal what's broken, but you must know the depth of their sorrow. They have been seeing signs lately, your name in random places, songs that scream your memory, even dreams where you speak forgiveness. These signs are not madness. They are messages from the divine trying to bridge the gap. Type Amen to get blessing 1001. They feel like the walls are closing in, emotionally and spiritually. They are tired of pretending. And every time they smile in front of others, it feels like a lie to their soul. They blame themselves every day for not fighting harder, for letting ego drive a wedge, for not appreciating your presence. They feel like they had gold but treated it like stone. Sometimes they journal what they would say if they had just one chance to talk to you again. They write pages and cry over the ink that smears with every tear. That pain is still fresh, even if it's been months or years. Heaven is choosing this very moment for you to know. This isn't a random message, this is spiritually aligned, and if your heart is trembling right now, it means this message is truly for you. Type Amen to get blessing 1112. They are stuck between moving on and holding on. They smile with new people but still long for your understanding. Their mind wanders to you even when their body sits next to someone else. Their struggle is not just emotional, it's spiritual. They feel disconnected from everything they once believed. Your love was the last thing that felt real, and without it, the world feels like an illusion. They are even seeing therapists or trying to drown the thoughts in work. But the truth always comes back, your name is the echo that never fades, they miss you more than they'll ever admit. Archangel Michael says, your name has been written into their spirit. That cannot be erased. Even if they act like they forgot, their soul carries the truth. Type Amen to get blessing 1344. They once thought they could live without you. Now they're begging the universe for one more chance. But they don't know if they deserve your kindness anymore. They walk in crowds but feel alone. They hear laughter but can't feel joy. The weight of losing you has aged their spirit and cracked their heart. They once took you for granted, now they treasure every word you ever said. They remember how you made them feel safe, seen, and special. That feeling is unmatched, and nothing else fills the void. God is sending this message to break their silence through your awareness. You are their silent hope, their last prayer, their unspoken wish. And now that you know, healing can begin. Type Amen to get blessing 1555. They are not proud of how they left. They replay the argument, the silence, the goodbye over and over. They know the pain they caused. And they are sorry in ways words can't express. They cry in the car. They scream in their pillow. They smile in public but grieve in private. They are a wounded heart walking through life hoping for a miracle. That miracle is tied to your understanding, your compassion, your spiritual light. This is not just about love, it's about redemption. They want you to know they never stopped loving you. They just stopped believing they were worthy of your love. And now, the silence is heavier than any goodbye. Type Amen to get blessing 1881. You may be healing now, growing, becoming stronger. But don't let your strength make you numb to their pain. Heaven chose you to receive this for a divine reason. You may never go back, but you are the vessel through which forgiveness and peace can pour. Your person is on the edge, and they don't know how to cry for help. But God heard their silent tears. Archangel Michael says, your energy is still their comfort. And even now, your prayers could save them from despair. Their soul is calling out, and this message is the answer. Let your spirit speak the peace they need. Let your heart whisper the grace they never asked for. And if God stirs you to reach out, let it be guided by love, not pride. Type Amen to get blessing 1999. They check their phone more than they admit, hoping your name will light up the screen. Even a single "Are you okay?" from you would break the chains wrapped around their chest. But the silence has grown too loud, and they no longer know if the door is still open. They have changed, but they fear it's too late. They've grown, matured, learned, but without you by their side, none of it feels complete. The lessons came after the loss, and the realization has crushed them daily. In crowded rooms, they scan faces looking for one that feels like home. But nothing feels like home anymore. Home, to them, was your presence, your laugh, your hand, your words that melted their fears. God is not showing you this to cause pain. Heaven is revealing this so you can release bitterness, soften your heart, and step into divine wisdom. Their heart is still carrying you, and your light still holds power in their healing. Type Amen to get blessing 2023. They don't talk about you out loud, but your name still lingers in their mind like a melody. It plays when they least expect it, at the market, during a walk, or in the middle of a meeting. Your voice is carved into their spirit. They once thought moving on meant forgetting. Now they know it only meant pretending. And pretending has become their biggest prison. They hoped time would make them forget, but instead, time made them remember everything more clearly. Time deepened the ache. Time reminded them that losing someone real leaves a scar no one else can touch. They feel punished by their own choices. And even if they try to explain, they don't think you'd believe them. They wish they could hold your hand and tell you everything, just once. Type Amen to get blessing 2222. Archangel Michael says, you are receiving this because your awareness is the spiritual cord that connects them to hope. They are sinking, and this message is your divine flashlight into their dark corner. This isn't about going back, this is about letting God work through you. They keep dreaming of you. They wake up crying or smiling, depending on the dream, and when the morning comes, they carry those emotions all day. They saw your photo recently, online, or from someone's phone, and it broke them. You looked happier, lighter, distant. And they realized how much their actions stole from both of you. They whisper your name sometimes when they're alone, not to call you, but to feel closer to what they lost. And when they do, even the silence seems to hold its breath. Type Amen to get blessing 2333. They remember how you used to hold space for them, without judgment. No one else does that. With you, they felt free. With others, they feel like they're acting. They smile when people mention your name, but inside, it cuts deep. Every reminder of you is a mirror they avoid. But mirrors don't lie, and their reflection always exposes the truth. They were foolish, but now they are broken. They thought they could find someone better. But better never came. What they had was sacred, and they ruined it. Heaven has not forgotten, God's grace still extends to them, through you. This message is the bridge they could never build themselves. Type Amen to get blessing 2444. Sometimes, they go back to places you both visited. They sit at the same table, walk the same paths, hoping to feel what was once real, but it's never the same. They try to connect with others, but no one feels like you. Everyone else feels like noise. You were the calm inside their storm. They remember your encouragement when they felt low. They remember your voice cheering for them when the world ignored them. You made them feel seen, heard, and loved. Now they feel invisible. Archangel Michael says, your spirit carries a healing that only heaven can explain. Your person is drowning in regret, and God is giving them one last chance to be seen. Through this message to you, type Amen to get blessing 2555. They are not expecting you to come back. They don't even believe they deserve a response. But knowing you've read this, knowing that you might understand, might be the one thing that keeps them going another day. This isn't about romance anymore, it's about the soul. Their soul is bruised, and your light is the only thing that ever helped them heal. Even your silence now carries weight they can't bear. They hear songs that you used to play, and it makes their heart feel like it's bleeding. Music, memories, and moments now all sound like apologies. They wish they could rewind time, not to change things, but to hold you longer. They're not looking for pity. They're not asking for a second chance. They're just hoping that somewhere inside your heart, there's still a place where they are not forgotten. Type Amen to get blessing 2666. They lost your trust and don't know how to earn it back. They betrayed your kindness, and now all they have is echoes. But every time they pray, your name is the first thing they say. They still believe you were the best thing to happen to them. They say it when no one's listening. They whisper it to God, to the wind, to the stars. The nights are the hardest. When no one is around to distract them, the truth rises up. They are still in love with the version of you that waited, listened, and loved them without measure. God knows what's hidden. Heaven knows the weight they carry. This message is not to reopen wounds, but to finally bring divine closure, healing, and peace. Type Amen to get blessing 2777. They keep watching your life from a distance. Not to judge, but to admire. They smile when you smile, even from afar. If they could go back, they would change everything. They would choose you. Every single time. They would never leave. But now they fear they are just a memory to you, and being forgotten by someone who once loved them feels like dying while still breathing. They miss how you used to look at them, even during their worst days. You gave them hope they didn't think they deserved. And now, they wonder if hope is still real. Type Amen to get blessing 2888. They regret pushing you away more than anything. Pride and ego created the distance, but love and sorrow remain. They see now how wrong they were. They once thought love was about ownership, but now they know it's about presence. And your absence has been the loudest teacher. They miss your energy, the way your presence could calm a storm inside them. No one else has done that. No one else even comes close. Archangel Michael says, heaven is moving through you right now. You're being asked to hold space for them in prayer, compassion, or even forgiveness, even if silently. Type Amen to get blessing 3000. They are walking through life like a ghost. People see them, but they feel unseen. Because the one person who truly saw them is no longer by their side. They've learned their lesson. It was never about being right. It was about being real. And they were never more real than when they were with you. You held their brokenness with grace. And now that you're gone, they feel shattered without someone to help them gather the pieces. They are tired of pretending. Heaven is not asking you to fix them. But this message is a divine act of mercy. Because sometimes knowing someone still cares, even spiritually, can save a life. Type Amen to get blessing 3131. You are their anchor, even now. They drift, but they always think of you as the place they felt safe. The place they felt loved. They are lost in this world of distractions, but your memory grounds them. You are their compass, even if you're miles apart. God sees your compassion. And heaven blesses your patience. This message came to you not by mistake, but by divine design. Archangel Michael says, now that the truth is in your heart, may your soul choose what is holy, kind, and led by the Spirit. Your person is struggling, but through your light, healing is on its way. Type Amen to get blessing March 1933. They carry your memory like a hidden treasure, buried under guilt, regret, and silent apologies. Even if they laugh now, even if they post pictures smiling, it's all part of the act they've mastered. But when they're alone, your absence roars louder than any crowd ever could. They wish they could take back the words that pushed you away. They wish they could rewind time to that day they made you feel like you didn't matter. Now, those words echo back into their own heart, and it burns. They've spoken to God in the darkest moments, asking for just one sign that you're okay. Not even for themselves, but because they still care. And that care has never left. No matter how broken the connection may now be, your person is emotionally paralyzed, not because they don't love you, but because they feel unworthy of that love. They believe they're too far gone, too late, too damaged to come back. But the divine sees otherwise. Type Amen to get blessing 3444. They cry during moments no one else sees. They replay your last conversation in their head more than they should. It wasn't just a goodbye, it was a soul-tearing departure they still haven't recovered from. Your name has become a prayer they whisper at night. Not to bring you back, but to ask for your peace. Because if they can't have your presence, they still want your happiness. There are days they nearly dial your number, fingers hovering over the screen. But fear wins every time. Fear that you've forgotten, that you've moved on, that you've sealed the door permanently. Archangel Michael says, they still carry you in the parts of themselves that no one else can touch. No matter who comes into their life, your love still lingers in every silent pause, every deep breath, every moment they wish they could start over. Type Amen to get blessing 35.99. They visit places that feel like you. A bench. A street corner. A song playing in a store, everything seems to be soaked with reminders of what was lost. They try to keep it together, to smile at family events, to laugh at friends' jokes. But inside, they are collapsing. Slowly. Quietly, painfully. They look strong on the outside, but their soul is fractured. You were their mirror, and without you, they feel invisible. They fear no one will ever see them the way you did. They are not asking for another chance out loud, but their heart cries for one every night. The tears don't lie. The ache doesn't lie. And heaven hears every silent sob. Type Amen to get blessing 3666. Sometimes they write messages they never send, paragraphs of emotion, confessions, apologies. They delete them but not before reading them over and over. Wishing the courage would come. They keep your picture. Maybe not in the open, but it's there. A digital photo, a printed one in a drawer, something that keeps your presence alive. Your name triggers something in them that no one else can. A flicker of light. A rush of emotion. A sense of home. God is showing this to you not for judgment, but for spiritual understanding. Your story with them may be unfinished. Or it may be a closed book with one last page, this one. Type Amen to get blessing 3777. Archangel Michael says, divine timing has opened this door. You were not meant to see this message randomly, it was spiritually aligned, perfectly timed, and chosen for your eyes. You are more powerful than you realize. Your compassion carries healing. Your forgiveness, even silent, can shift their soul's path. They feel like a stranger to the world now, but when they think of you, they remember who they used to be, the better version of themselves. The version that you loved and believed in. They miss the way you looked at them like they mattered. No one else does that. Everyone else sees their flaws, you saw their soul. Type Amen to get blessing 3933. They don't ask for help because they feel they don't deserve it. They pretend to be fine because they think no one would care anymore. But if they could tell you one thing, it would be, I'm not okay without you. They light a candle sometimes, not for anything religious, but because the flame reminds them of how your presence made them feel, warm, safe, alive. That feeling is rare, and they've never found it again. They tried to move on. Really, they did. But no one else fit the shape of your soul, no one else could speak to their spirit the way you did. Heaven knows the truth. Heaven saw their pride, their pain, and now, their remorse. And it's all being brought to your awareness in this moment of divine clarity. Type Amen to get blessing 4001. They've seen you smile in pictures, and though it hurts, they smile too. Because if nothing else, they want your joy. Even if it's not with them. They keep making plans, filling their calendar, trying to outrun the memory of you. But every quiet moment brings them right back to your name. They feel like they lost their chance. But they still hope heaven offers them one more opportunity to explain, to say sorry, to say thank you. Even now, after all this time, your soul still dances in their dreams. They wake up feeling your presence and cry, not because it hurts, but because it still feels beautiful. Type Amen to get blessing 4111. God is placing this message into your hands because it's time for healing. Whether that healing comes through words, energy, or spiritual release, it begins now. Your person is spiritually wounded. And you carry the key to peace. They are walking through life waiting for a miracle. And maybe this message is that miracle, maybe you're reading this as their answered prayer. You don't need to act. You don't need to call. But let your heart speak something soft into the universe. Let heaven guide what happens next. Archangel Michael says, nothing is coincidence. This moment was written in divine time, and your awareness is the bridge between their despair and their redemption. Type Amen to get blessing 4222. Their story doesn't end in sorrow. It may have started in mistakes, but God is writing a chapter of redemption, and you were chosen to read this page. You have the power to shift energy. To forgive quietly. To bless them from afar. To release them with grace or welcome them with light. Whatever you choose, choose it with heaven. Choose it with your spirit. And know this, your soul has just saved another soul by simply receiving this message. And if your heart is still beating with emotion, it means the divine is still working. Let that work finish what it started. Type Amen to get blessing 4444.